Hi everyone, Jo here. I just thought I would check in, make sure you're all doing okay and you're all feeling well and keeping safe, keeping those hands washed. I do hope so. I also thought that I would just take a couple of minutes to answer the questions that I get asked the most when I do school visits, or the questions that you guys have been asking me through social media or my website over the last couple of weeks. So here we go. The first question that I get asked by the school kids is always, do I know David Walliams? And the answer is obviously always the same, no. I wish I did, because he seems like he would be a really good laugh and I love to laugh. And he could also give me some top tips on how to promote my books and get them out there and all the rest of it. But no, sadly, I don't know him, but I wish I did. The second question that I get asked a lot is, what made me want to be a writer? And I don't think it's something that is an idea that just popped up one day. I don't think I woke up one day thinking, you know what, I'm going to be a writer today. I think it is something that has always been inside me. I always love creating different characters and stories, and I used to be an actress and I have written some stage plays, so to me it was a natural step to take, and I absolutely love it. I don't go a single day without writing something down. It may not be on my computer and it may not be to do with Viola, but I do have all these different ideas floating around in my head, and if I didn't get them down and recorded somewhere, I think my little brain would go pop. The third question I get asked a lot is, where do I get my ideas from? And again, it's not as simple as just saying, oh, they just pop up into my head. I could get ideas from anywhere. I read a lot of different books, so I might pick up little sort of nuggets of, not storylines per se, but ways to get from A to B within a story. I might be walking down the street and I see something and think, oh, that's odd, or that's quite cool or quirky, and that would fit somehow in my story. But most of the time it's because I love mystery stories, and I love Agatha Christie, I love Sherlock Holmes, I love watching crime programs on TV. I used to love CSI, and all that kind of thing. And I like having something to figure out puzzles. Not always crime, but that's kind of where I piece together all my different ideas. And a really useful tool I have found is, if you're trying to write a story or you're trying to plot out your story and you get stuck, which is what's called writer's block, and you just feel that your brain isn't working anymore, I find just leaving it alone and either writing a completely different story or doing something really mundane like the washing up or the cleaning or tidying up your bedroom, something like that that's quite boring and dull, that might spark something in your head because you're not thinking about it. That's usually where I get my ideas from, doing housework basically. The fourth question I get asked, this is mainly when I'm doing school visits, is how do I get a copy of your book and how do I get one signed? And usually I would say, well, give me the copy and I'll sign it right now. But that's not possible when you're on the internet or during a lockdown. So my advice to you guys would be, if you have a copy of my book and you would like me to sign it, then you can get in touch with me through social media, through the comments, or just dropping me an email. And I'll leave my email address in the description. And get in touch with me and I will come right back to you and tell you where to send the books. If you want to know where to buy my books, then the simple answer is Amazon. And I have two bonus questions, because I usually get asked some really weird but wonderful questions when I'm doing school visits. And two particularly weird questions jump out in my mind, or stick in my mind I should say. The first one was, who is better, Batman or Superman? And it was a real sort of dividing question because the whole class got involved, and some said Batman, some said Superman, some said they were both cool, some said they were both rubbish. But I think, in my opinion, they're both good in different ways, because Batman is an actual human being man, and he has created all his skills and tools and gadgets and what have you, whereas Superman, he's like half alien, isn't he? I think. Alien? Don't know. So I don't know is the answer. So if you ask me that question, my answer will be, I don't know, it makes my brain hurt. And finally, my all-time favourite question was posed to me by a lad who I had gone to a school, done a visit, and he had been asking fantastic questions all the way through. He was such a cool little guy. And when he asked me the question, do I know David Walliams? I said, no, I don't. He then asked me, do I have more money than David Walliams? And once I had got over my fit of laughter, I said no. I mean, I don't know the state of David's finances, but I'm pretty sure he has a couple of quid more than me. And I said, I wish I had more money than David Walliams, because that'd be quite cool. And then he put his hand up and he said, well, if you want more money than David Walliams, then just write the same books that David Walliams writes. And I said, okay, I suppose I could write the same books as David Walliams, but I don't really fancy going to court because A, that's not my lifestyle, and B, I've got a feeling that David's legal team would be far better than my legal team, which would probably consist of me and Google. So as tempting as it was to just rip off the cover of a David Walliams book and put my own cover on it, that doesn't really work in the real world. And if it was that easy, of course, then everybody would be doing it. So you don't copy other people's ideas, you come up with your own, kids. That's the most important thing. So there we have it. They are the questions that I am asked most regularly, and the weirder the better. So if you guys have any questions for me, send them my way. I will do my best to answer them all. Yeah, and there we have it. Hope you enjoyed this little video. Have a great day, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.